Welcome to Angles in a Polygon. So today we're going to talk about interior angles, which would be inside of a polygon, and exterior angles, which would be outside ones. First thing you need to know is this formula. This figures out what all the angles in a polygon add up to be. So it is according to how many sides, so the n is the sides. So if you subtract 2 from how many sides and you multiply by 180, that's going to tell you what all the inside angles should add up to be. So our first example here, we want to find the sum of the measures of the interior angle of a convex nonagon. So nonagon is going to have 9 sides. So we're going to start with the 9 minus 2, and then we're going to multiply that to 180. So 9 minus 2 would be 7. And then once we multiply that to 180, that gives us 1,260. So if we have a nonagon, all of the angles will add up to be 1,260 degrees. So next example I want to talk about is down here. We have malls designed so that 5 walkways meet at a food court that is in the shape of a regular pentagon. So I want to point out the word regular here. Regular means that all the sides, all the angles are congruent. That is important, otherwise we would not be able to answer this question. So now it wants to find the measure of one of the interior angles, so not all of them. So what we have to start with is knowing, well, how many degrees should a pentagon add up to be? So again, since we're talking about the interior, the inside angles, we're going to do the 5 minus 2 times 180. So 5 minus 2 would be 3 times 180, which would give us 540 degrees. Now, since there's 5 angles, and they are all congruent, I'm going to go ahead and take that 540, divide by 5, and that gives me 108 degrees. So each of these angles would be 108 degrees. Our next example that has to do with interior angles is we're going to be writing equations for x. So again, when we're talking about interior angles, we have to start with that n minus 2 times 180. So in this case, since we're trying to find x on the inside, our n, we have 4 sides minus 2 times 180. 4 minus 2 would be 2 times 180. So these are supposed to add up to be 360. So just like a triangle, they would add to be 180. With a quadrilateral, it's 360. And as we add sides, it's more and more degrees. So what I need to do is I need to take and add every single one of these up. So instead of writing a big equation, I'm just going to go ahead and combine like terms. So 5 and 5 would be 10. 11 and 11 would be 22. So when I add those together, I get a 32x. And then the plus 4 and the plus 4 would also be like terms. So I'm going to put plus 8 and then equals the 360 that we came up with over here. So this answer is always going to be what it ends up equaling here. So it's not always 360, but it's whatever you get from this equation. So now let's go ahead and solve this. So we have to subtract the 8. So we get 32x equals 372. And then we have to divide by 32. And then that gets me that x equals 12. Nope, sorry, wrong one. Darn. This should be 352. And I'm dividing by 32. Sorry about that. So my x should be 11. So now this problem did ask the measure of each interior angle. So we do need to take that 11 and plug it back in. So this 5x, remember 5 times 11, is going to give me 55. So 2 of them are 55. And then when I take 11 times 11, I get 121. Plus 4 would give me 125. So then the other 2 would be 125. Okay, so next thing we need to talk about is exterior angles. So the exterior angles of a polygon, basically all you need to know is they always add up to be 360. So here's exterior angles. So you're going to be seeing angles on the outside of the polygon. And it doesn't matter how many sides on this one, it's just always 360. So we're going to start with an example over here. Find the value of x in the diagram. So because these are all on the outside, I know they're always going to add up to be 360. So I don't have to use a different equation to figure out a different answer. It's always 360. So again, I'm going to add all these up. So when I add up all my x's, I get a 31x. And then I also need to add up all the numbers. So the plus 5, the minus 6, the minus 5, the plus 3, the minus 12, and the plus 3. And that would give me a minus 12. And that's going to equal 360. So from there, I need to add my 12. Oops, that's 360. And so I get 31x equals 372. Divide by 31, and that's giving me x equals 12. This problem did just ask for the value of x, so then my answer is 12. Okay, next example. Again, looking at the measure of each exterior angle, and again you see the word regular. Again, we can only find the measure of one angle if I know these are regular shapes, which again means that they are all the same. So with the exterior angle, because it says exterior, I'm always dealing with the 360. Then once I know that, if it's a regular decagon, that means all I have to do, decagon is 10 sides, I divide it by 10, so that means each angle is 36 degrees. So those are nice, fast problems. Okay, last one. I want to go back to this diagram, because our last problem is going to we're going to relate an interior and an exterior angle together. So when we look at this, here is an exterior angle. Here is its matching interior angle. So if you look at this, the angle 1 and this angle here make a straight line. So what I want you to understand is an interior angle plus its matching exterior angle are always going to equal 180. And that's going to make this next problem a whole lot easier for you. That an interior plus an exterior equals 180. So why do I do that? Well, the problem here says the measure of an interior angle of a regular polygon is 150. Find the number of sides in the polygon. Well, there are two different ways to work it out. And what I figured out, the easiest way is to find the number of sides from the exterior angle measure, because the exterior always add up to be 360. So because the 150 is the interior angle, what I want to do is I want to find the exterior angle. So if you remember, we said interior plus exterior is 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 150, and that's going to give me 30. So this represents your exterior angle measure. So why does this make it easier? Because now that all your exterior angles always add up to be 360, I can take that 360 and I can divide by that 30 degrees, because every single one of them are 30 degrees, and that tells me how many sides I have. So 360 divided by 30 is going to give me 12, so that means I have 12 sides. So do you want to see if you want to have another example? Let's try that again. If you want to try it on your own, just pause. If not, here we go. So the measure of an interior angle, again, it gives me the interior angle of a regular polygon is 144. Again, it's asking for the number of sides. So the easiest thing, interior and exterior add to equal 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 144. And that gives me 36. So then that tells me each of my angles, my exterior angles are 36 degrees. So you can take that 360 that each exterior angle adds up to be, divide by 36, and that tells me then I'm going to have 10 sides. Thank you.